Good evening. Welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School Boys Gymnastics. Hi, I'm John Megliaro, where tonight we come to you from East Brunswick High School's gym for the boys gymnastic meet between East Brunswick and Raritan. And if you know nothing about gymnastics, well, let me tell you, the boys team is probably the best in the state. In fact, they are the best in the state. And tonight they try to improve their record to 5-0 against a young but competitive Raritan team. So stay with us for boys gymnastics. Well, good evening and welcome to Boys Gymnastics here from East Brunswick High School. As the boys are getting ready to take on the Raritan team, East Brunswick comes in 4-0, looking to improve their record to 5-0, with Raritan coming in 2-1. Raritan coached by Rick Sherman, East Brunswick coached by Don Weeder. Our first event this evening will be floor exercise. For East Brunswick will be George Collisveri. George is a senior. And we'll be running two events at one time. We'll be focusing in on the East Brunswick team for obvious reasons. And George starts out with a round off into flip-flops into a nice high back layout. If you're new to the sport, floor exercise, if you've been watching the Olympics, you'll know requires both tumbling and strength moves. And George moves into a press handstand. Little trouble walking on his hands. The gymnast is required to cover the four corners. Nice front summy. And a slight mistake there. George back summy, and now he'll get ready, and that will be it. George Collisveri, senior. Up next for East Brunswick will be Alex Decker, another senior. And we're waiting for George's score. Generally in gymnastics, the coach will put up the newer gymnast and then keep his better gymnast towards the end. And Georgia's score is 4.4. Alex Decker. Alex into flip-flops to a back summy, cartwheels out into the corner. We'll move into his strength move. It's what they call a press handstand. Very difficult move. Front summy. Straddle jump, front summy. Again, a very difficult combination. Here's his balancing requirement. Does a scale. And finishes up with a back summy. Alex is a senior. That will bring up Brian Fox, another senior, and this East Brunswick team is loaded with seniors. Score for Alex Decker is being determined now, and it's 4.2. Brian Fox starts with a back summy. Flip-flops or back handsprings into another back summy. There's the scale showing balance. You hear the clapping in the background. As I said, there are two events going on at one time. This is Brian Fox as he goes into a press handstand. He'll do a half pirouette, so he'll move to the other corner. Front handspring, front summy. And circles are on the floor, a move you usually see on the pommel horse. And Brian looking to finish up here with a back summy. That's senior Brian Fox. Up next will be senior and captain Steve Christensen. Waiting for the score on Brian Fox. .8. And now Steve Christensen. And watch this floor X routine. Front step out. Flip-flops into a double full twist. Beautiful first pass. Straight legs into a press handstand. Front semi step out, front semi. Now watch this. The Thomas Flare into a split. Very nice. Side semi with an Arabian. And Steve scale. And Steve's ready to finish it up here with his last pass. Flip-flops into another double twist. Steve Christensen for East Brunswick, senior captain. Should score well on that. And now East Brunswick's top performer on floor X, Jason Cohen, who is a junior, will be up. .4 is the score for Steve Christensen on floor. Excellent score. And Jason Cohen, another top performer, former state floor X champ last year. Double back semi right to his feet. How's that to start off a floor X routine? Press handstand. Turn now. Go back across the mat. Flip-flops into a double full. Back roll, handstand into a split. Front handspring front, and what they call a whip over, or a neck spring. Scale. And now Jason will look to finish it up, probably doing a full twist dismount. And there it is. Jason Cohen, a little hop at the end. Very nice routine. And so East Brunswick starts off strong on the floor X. And we'll wait for Jason's score. Jason's score is 9.1. And so East Brunswick will now move over to the pommel horse, where Dave Dupler will be up first. Dave's a freshman for East Brunswick. And at side horse, or pommel horse as it's now commonly called, you'll see swinging movements. The gymnast is required to work all three parts of the horse, using the pommels as well as the ends. In addition, they are required to do what they call scissor movements, or splitting of the legs, working between the pommels. Dave Dupler loops on. Dave doing some single leg cuts. Again, Dave is a freshman. And he'll do a loop off. And a very nice start for East Brunswick. Dave's score is 2.0. Gymnasts can score as high as a 10, as many of you are aware, having watched the Olympics. Up next is Joe Capodanno. Joe is a senior. Joe loops on. Moves up to the pommel through scissor action or single leg cuts. Scissors out to the end of the horse. Again, trying to use all three components of the apparatus. Now back into the center doing single leg cuts and scissor movements to a loop off. That'll bring up Brian Fox. And Joe Capodanno's score is 2.6. Brian Fox with loop on. In a series of circles, moves to the center of the horse very nicely. Continues the double leg circles. Now breaks into his scissors. Does a little reverse scissor to the end. Back into double leg circles. Slight break. And he'll look to loop off. Minor break there. He'll remount for his loop, double loop dismount. Brian Fox. Jason Cohen will be up next for East Brunswick. And we'll try to keep you abreast of the team score after each event. As we know it, we'll pass it on to you. Brian Fox's score is 4.7. Jason Cohen. Starting from the end into double leg circles. Thomas Flair, very nice. One circled on one pommel, looking very good. As he works around the horse. Now we'll break into his leg scissors. Back into double leg circles. And a very nice side horse routine for Jason Cohen. Really moving. And I know Jason has to be pleased with that routine. He's been having a little trouble on pommel horse. And now Steve Christensen, one of the best in the state on this piece of equipment, waiting for Jason's score. And 8.4. So Jason Cohen with an 8.4. That'll bring up Steve Christensen. Steve working one pommel, double leg circles. Look at the body extension. Beautiful movement along the horse. Nice reverse back into the center of the horse. Nice high scissors. The judges look for that. A little hop, half turn. The Thomas Flair. And back to circles on the end into a handstand dismount. Steve Christensen showing why he's one of the best in the state on pommel horse. Waiting for a score. Still waiting. And looks like it's going to be in the 9s. It is a 9-0 for Steve Christensen. So East Brunswick finishes up strong on pommel horse, and will next move to the still rings. In the meantime, the Raritan team is still competing on floor, so there may be some delay before East Brunswick moves over to the ring. So in the meantime, we'll look at the Raritan team on floor X. Unfortunately, I do not know who this competitor is. Moving into a split, into the press handstand. Coach Rich Sherman has told me that he has a young team and hopes that the competition tonight against East Brunswick will be an incentive for his team. And he counts on 3 gymnasts who he feels are quite strong. They are Captain Craig McHenry, James Polonsky, and Todd Koslow. And a back summy to finish it off for Raritan. All right, East Brunswick's about ready to move over to the rings, still rings. Alex Decker, senior, will be up first. When you look at the still rings, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that the gymnast is required to swing on those rings, yet keep them as still and manageable as possible. This is particularly true in the handstand position. And you'll see that some gymnasts are quite able to control those rings, while others do have some difficulty with it. Alex Decker up first for the Bears. Coach Don Weider is allowed to touch him so that he's still before he starts. Alex with an uprise into an L. The gymnasts are required to hold that position. Required to show a handstand and strength positions as well. Back into the L, dislocate, back summy off. Alex Decker. Brian Fox will be up next. .8 was Alex Decker's score. And this is Brian Fox. Brian starts off with inlocates to an uprise, L position. Another L. Looking to push it up to the handstand. Doesn't quite make it. Dislocate, back summy off. Jason Cohen will be up next. Brian Fox, 3.6 for his ring routine. And Jason Cohen. Jason tried the lock arm shoot, but shoots to the handstand position. Nice handstand. You see him controlling the rings quite well. Inlocate. Front summy into an iron cross. Moves out of it. Uprise into an L. Back-to-back strength moves. Back into the handstand position. Giant swing, having a little bit of trouble with it. Through the head just a bit. Trying to get control of the rings for his dismount. Double back dismount. Jason Cohen for East Brunswick, and now to bring up Captain Steve Christensen. Waiting for a score for Jason. 8.3. And now Steve Christensen. Front lever, very difficult move. Uprise handstand. There's lock arm, shoot handstand. There's the whip it that Jason, a double whip it, if you will, into an L. Planche, didn't hold it quite long enough, but believe me, a difficult move. Back into the handstand. And a full in, back out. Steve Christensen for East Brunswick. And that'll do it for East Brunswick on rings.
East Brunswick will now compete on the vault.
And they'll move over to the vault as we wait for the score on Steve Christensen for that ring routine. And while we have a moment, let me mention to people, those of you watching, that if you really want to see some outstanding gymnastics, the place to come is East Brunswick High School. Both the boys and the gymnastics program are two of the best in the state. The boys being state champs for the last several years and should repeat quite easily this year. Waiting for a score, Steve Christensen. We'll move to vault, and George Collisvari will be up. Steve Christensen on rings had a 9.3, and here's George on vault. Handspring with a little hop. In men's gymnastics, there's only one vault as compared to women's gymnastics where they get two. So you get one shot, make it or break it. Alex Stecker will be up next. Georgia's score. I believe it was a 6.0. Alex Stecker, handspring. Holding his legs just a bit. That'll bring up Brian Fox. Here comes Brian Fox. Handspring. Nice job. Alex Stecker had a 7.6 on that vault. Steve Christensen will be up now for East Brunswick. 7.4 for Brian Fox. Steve Christensen. Handspring full, and he rolls out of it. And Steve will take a second vault, of course at a lesser value in terms of points. This is more for the practice of doing the vault at this point. Let's see if Steve can pull it back together. He's doing a handspring full. I'm sorry, he does a Sukahara. This is a half turn on, back semi off. And we'll see what Steve scores on that. Beautiful vault, good height. Vaulting, the judges are looking for good repulsion off the board and good repulsion off the horse in terms of height from the horse. Obviously, they want to see the landing strong and stable. And we'll see what they give Steve on that Sukahara. .5. Last up for East Brunswick on vault will be Jason Cohen. Jason will be doing a handspring front, according to Coach Don Weider. There it is, pike front. And just unable to pull it out to his feet. Had excellent height. And Jason decides to take a second. He was unable to come out of that pike quick enough in terms of being able to put his feet on the mat. He'll try it again. This time in a tuck position, right to his feet. Beautiful vault, Jason Cohen. And Jason Cohen pulls down a 9.2 with the handspring front in the tuck position. So East Brunswick doing quite well, as you can see. And they'll move on to the parallel bars next. And again, we'll be taking a short break here as the judges are waiting for Raritan to finish up on the rings. And you can see the Raritan team competing on the steel rings in the right-hand corner of your picture. And the gymnast is into an L seat. Handstand, rolls out, pulls it back up to an L. Shoulder stand. Back roll into a straddle dismount. And we're about ready to move over to the parallel bars with East Brunswick. Up first will be George Collis-Vary. On the parallel bars, the judges are looking for swingy movements both above and below the bars. So in effect, they're looking for some release move both above and below the bar. Handstand position is obviously a requirement of some sort. And you may see some gymnasts do shoulder stands as a replacement for that requirement. In addition, you'll see some tumbling in terms of dismounts off the parallel bars. So East Brunswick will start off with George Collisferri.
Are Bob Sheen, Tom Coslow, Gene Stevens, James Polonsky.
And you'll see that the gymnasts will go out and help one another set the bars. Each gymnast has their own preferred setting, and generally it's the width of the forearm that they use as a measurement. You see George testing the bars. Gymnasts like the bars at a certain height and width. George starts with a glide kip to a straddle cut. Shoulder stand and a forward roll. Back up rise to an L. Another shoulder stand. And George with a back semi dismount. And that'll bring up Alex Decker as we wait for George Collisferri's score on P-bars or parallel bars. And George's score is 3.4. Alex Decker is up, addresses the judge. He starts with an uprise, front uprise, to an L. Shoulder stand. And a back roll, uprise, and shoulder roll off. I think Alex got caught up a little bit. I think he was looking to throw the back semi and was just a little bit out of position. Brian Fox will be up next.
At the end of the first four events, the score is East Brunswick Bears 92.9, Raritan Rockets 54.7.
3.2 for Alex Decker, and we've just been informed that after 2 events, East Brunswick is in the lead, 92.9 to 54.7, as you see Brian Fox up. Brian doing a straddle L on one bar into a press handstand. Very nice pirouette. Lost it just slightly, but made a nice recovery. Back roll to an uprise, pushing up through the handstand, pirouette dismount. Brian Fox, the senior, and Brian is looking to become the high school intermediate all-around champion, and it's working quite hard this year, according to Coach Don Weider. Steve Christensen will be up. Brian's score, 4.1. And Steve should start out with what they call a peach basket. And he does. Misses the handstand and has to press up into it. Stutz. Very nicely done. Another stutz. Steve struggling just a bit. Has to straddle to get back into that handstand. Tried a pirouette, had trouble, had to pull through it. and just does a back layout dismount. So Steve Christensen having a little trouble tonight on P-bars. And that happens to a gymnast. Sometimes they get ahead of themselves at the beginning of the routine and have trouble finding their rhythm and feel for the apparatus, if you will. And Steve apparently had that problem tonight. Jason Cohen now will be up for East Brunswick, the last competitor on this event for the Bears. Waiting for Steve Christensen's score.
Go, Jay.
6.6. Jason Cohen now. Peach to the hand. Look how straight that handstand is. Stutz. Struggles just a bit with it. Heely twirl. Is able to pull it together. Straddle cut. Uprise to the handstand. Very difficult move. Pirouette. Double back summy right to his feet. Jason Cohen. And he too struggled just a bit. It's very difficult to ask these gymnasts to compete in 6 events when they go all around and not have one event that gives them a little bit of trouble in any particular evening. And we'll wait for Jason's score.
Raritan will now compete on the parallel bars, up for the rocket bar. Bob Sheen, Gene Stevens, Todd Coslow, Craig McHenry, and James Lonsky.
And you see camera crew go by. That's New Jersey Network. They are here to take a look at this fine East Brunswick High School team. And Jason Cohen's score on parallel bars, 8.2. So East Brunswick's ready to go into their last event of the evening, and that is the exciting high bar. And Alex Decker will lead it off for the Bears.
Come on, Alex. Go, Alex. Go, Alex. Come on, Alex.
Alex Decker will be up. Obviously, on high bar, it's swingy movements. Releases above and below the bar are quite common. And this, as I just mentioned, is quite an exciting event. Alex Decker now going into Giants. Pulls back into the bar. Having a little trouble, taking a few extra swings. And he'll dismount with a back semi. Brian Fox will be up next.
Go, Rod. Come on, Brian.
3.4 is the score for Alex Decker.
Come on, Brian.
Ryan starts with a high start. Hip circle. Cast. And to Giants. Back into the bar. And a back semi dismount. Good routine for Brian Fox.
Come on, Jay. Go, Jay.
That'll bring up Jason Cohen. Brian Fox's score, 4.2. Junior Jason Cohen. using the mat to assist him. High start. Yeager catches the bar. Beautiful move to start off. Into Giants. Look at that handwork on the bar, cross changes. Reverse Giants, or what they call L Giants. A little hop there. Looking now for his dismount. Double back layout. Jason Cohen for East Brunswick. Double flyaway. And remember, he's only a junior. That'll bring up Captain Steve Christensen to finish it out here for East Brunswick tonight. Score for Jason Cohen is 9.0. You can understand why the crowd was so appreciative of that routine. Here we go, Steve Christensen, the last one up for East Brunswick. Blind Giants, as they call them, or reverse Giants. Actually, they're called Higgins rolls, if you will. And a very nice high flyaway for Steve Christensen. Good solid routine. Should score well with that. And if you needed any convincing as to the strength and talent of this team, you saw it tonight. The boys gymnastics team, perennial state champs. And that'll do it for East Brunswick tonight against Raritan. We'll be back in a moment with the final score and maybe a special guest. Well, I'm pleased to say that East Brunswick High School captain Steve Christensen is with me. Steve, congratulations on a fine meet.
Thank you very much.
Your high bar score was 8.6, yet you didn't throw your dismount.
Yeah. I'm working on a new one, but haven't mastered it yet, so I'm waiting with it.
Steve, what are your goals this year as captain for this team, both as from a team perspective as well as your own individual goals?
Well, I'd like to improve personally, raise my all-around score, and I'd also like to see the team score higher and possibly set a new record.
What kind of competition is out there between you and Jason? I know you're good friends. You congratulate each other coming off the floor. Yet I would think that kind of competition is helpful as well.
Yeah, it is. He's always constantly pushing, and because he's a year younger, I'd like to go out ahead of him, but he's really making it hard.
Yeah. Steve, what are in the plans for you in terms of college next year? Any thoughts?
Well, I'm looking at several colleges like Penn State, UMass, William and Mary, and possibly the Naval Academy, and I'm hoping for a little help financially from the colleges.
Well, I would think with your skills and talent, help should be coming. Steve, congratulations. Good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's about it from here, East Brunswick High School, where the boys gymnastic team improved their record to 6-0. The final was East Brunswick 133.6, Raritan 75.6. So for Steve Christensen, I'm John Migliaro saying thanks for being with us.